I built an invoice automation that creates and sends invoices automatically to clients, and it's insanely powerful. Let me show you a quick demo. Here I have a Google Sheet with all the invoice details. Let's execute the workflow. It pulls the details from the Google Sheet, creates the invoice, and sends it to the clients. Let's check our inbox. And here we go. Here is the email with the invoice attached. And on the Google Sheet, it updated the invoice URL and email status as well. You can sell this automation to businesses for hundreds of dollars. And in this video, I will show you the step-by-step process to create this automation from scratch. So let's get started. First, let's create the invoice template. For that, we are using a platform called templated.io. Here we can create the templates, and we can literally make an API call with dynamic values like invoice number, due date, amount, and everything to get the final PDF ready. And the best part, N8N even has the templated.io node, so it's very easy to integrate. Just click on the sign up button and create an account, and you will get 50 credits totally free. That means you can create 50 PDFs or images. Enter your name, email address, password, and hit sign up. It's done. Now we are on the dashboard. Let's create the template. Here we have 4 different options available. The first one is choose from the template gallery, where we have already built templates available. Here we can see the invoice templates. The next option is to create the template by using AI, where we can just enter a few prompts about what we need, and it will make the invoice template for us. The third one is import from Canva. If you already have a template available on Canva, you can just copy the link and paste it here. So it will make a design exactly like that. And the fourth one is build from scratch. For this quick tutorial, I'm just choosing the second one, and I already have a structured prompt. Let me paste it here. It's simple. Create a modern stripe style invoice template with a clean layout and a right side top corner label showing unpaid. Keep invoice number, invoice date, due date, client company name, client address, and note as separate editable layers. Include a simple items table and add our company details at the bottom. Then I added the demo company details. Now click generate. It will take around 1 to 2 minutes to create the template, so let's wait. It's done, and here we can see the AI generated template. On the top right side, there is an element mispositioning, and we can easily fix it. Just click on open in editor. And from here we can customize each and everything. First, let me set this part. Done. Now let's replace the logo placeholder with our own logo. Just upload the logo and set the size and position. And here I am only invoicing one product or one item. So let me delete the second one. This is totally customizable depending upon your preference. After changing the elements, my final invoice is looking like this. And first, let me show you what things will be dynamic here. The first one is the invoice number, then invoice date, due date, and on the left side, the company name and the company address. And here we have the product description, quantity, price, amount, and subtotal, tax amount, and finally, the total amount. The rest of the things will be static here. That means it will be the same for all the invoices that we are making by the API call. Okay, now we are ready to automate this template. So let's go to our N8N dashboard. Create a new workflow. First, let's add the manual trigger. Just tap on the plus icon and select the trigger manually node. Next, we have to pull all these invoice details from somewhere. For that, we are using Google Sheet, but it's not limited to Google Sheet only. You can even connect with your website, CRM, or SaaS platform. The possibilities are endless. Here I have the client name, email ID. I used my own email ID for this tutorial. And the next one is the company name, company address, invoice number, invoice date, due date, item or product description, quantity, price, amount, subtotal, tax, and total amount. Next one is the invoice link. Once we make the invoice PDF by an API call to Templated, we will get a public link for the invoice, and we can update it here for future reference. And the next one is the status. Once we create the invoice and send it to the client, it will update the status as sent. Now go back to the dashboard, click on the plus icon, search Google Sheet and select it. Set the action as Get Rows in Sheet. Here, select the document. In my case, I named it Client Invoices. Then select Sheet 1. Next, let's add a filter to pull only the rows whose sent status is empty, so we can use the same Google Sheet forever. Click on Add Filter, select the column Status and keep the value empty, so it will pull the rows whose status value is empty. Now let's execute the step. And here we got only one item, because in the Google Sheet, I had added sent here. Let's delete this. Now execute the step once again. And here we go. We got two items. Both the status values are empty. Now we are ready to make the API call to create the invoices. Before that, let's add a loop node to process the invoices one by one. Set the batch size as 1. Now let's execute the step, and in the loop branch we got the first item. Back to the canvas, let's delete these for now. From the loop branch, let's add the templated node. Select it. Actually, this is a community node, so first we have to install it. Just click on Install Node, and within a few seconds, it will be installed on your N8N instance. Now select the action as Create a Render. First, we have to connect our templated account. For that, go back to the templated dashboard, click on Automate this template. Now click on API, and here we can see the API key. Just copy that. Go back to the dashboard, paste it here, click Save, and now our account has been connected successfully. Close this, and here choose the template we created. Next, we have to choose the format. Since it's an invoice, select PDF. Next, we can add the layers like the company name, address, invoice number, etc. Just click on Add Layer. First, we have to fill the layer name. For that, go back to the templated platform and click on Curl. Here you can see all the layers available on our template. For example, here is the first one, invoice number value. Just copy that and paste it here. And in the text field, we can fill the invoice number. So just drag and drop the invoice number string like this. Next, we can change the text color, background, border, etc. Since this is a minimal invoice template, we don't have to change it. This option will be helpful if you are automating some kind of social media post or something, and I will create a detailed video on that later. Okay, now let's add all the layers. Here, let's take the invoice date value. Just copy and paste it here. Now in the text field, just drag and drop the invoice date string. Add the next layer, invoice due date, and drag and drop the due date string like this. By this way, let's add all the layers with the dynamic values available on our Google Sheet. Okay, I have added all the fields. Now let's execute the step. It's done. Here is the invoice URL. Let's open it in a new tab. And here we go. Here is the invoice filled with all the dynamic values from our Google Sheet. Now we can send this invoice to the client. But before that, we have to download this invoice from this URL. So back to the canvas, let's add an HTTP node. Set the method as get. In the URL field, just drag and drop the URL string like this. Let's execute the step. It's done. It has downloaded the file. And here, the file name is just like a random string. So let's update it to something like invoice number.pdf. For example, here is the invoice number, INV00157. So we have to update the file name to INV00157.pdf. For that, let's add a code node and paste this script. I will provide all the resources in a blog post, and you can find the link in the video description. The code literally takes the invoice number from the Google Sheet and it will update the file name. Let's execute the step, and it's done. Here we can see it updated the file name with the structure of invoice number.pdf. Now, we can send this invoice to the client. For that, we can use the SMTP node for sending from your domain email. Or you can use Microsoft Outlook as well. For this tutorial, I'm using Gmail. Set the action as send a message. First, connect your Gmail account. And in the to field, we have to add the client email address. For that, just click on JSON here. Then select the loop node. Now just drag and drop the email string like this. Next, we have to add the email subject and body. Let me paste this subject and replace the placeholders with the actual invoice number and the due date strings. Okay, so the email subject will look like this. Next, set the email type as text, and in the message field, you can add the content that you're sending with the invoice. Let's paste this one, and let me change the placeholders with the actual strings from the loop node. Okay, so the final email body will look like this. Next, we have to add the attachment. For that, tap on Add option, select Attachments. Now click on Add Attachment and set the field name as Data, which is the default value, so we don't have to change it. Now click on Add option again and select N8N attribution and turn it off to avoid the default watermark in the email. Let's add the sender name too. Perfect. Now let's execute the step. It's done. It has sent the email. Let's check our inbox. And here we go. We received the email with the invoice attached. Now we have to add a Google Sheet node to update the invoice link, as well as the email status. Just click on the plus icon, search Google Sheet, and select it. Set the action as Update Rows in Sheet. Select the same document and sheet, and set the column to match on as row number. And here just drag and drop the row number string from the loop node like this. And here, just delete the other fields and only keep the invoice link and status. Then, from the templated node, just drag and drop the URL string like this. Here, set the status as sent. Now, let's execute the step. It's done. Let's check the Google Sheet, and here we go. It updated both the invoice link and status. Back to the canvas. Now from the Google Sheet node, just loop it like this. So it will process all the invoices one by one. If you have multiple invoices to process, you can add a wait node just after the Google Sheet node as well. Now it's time to do the final test. Let me delete this one and execute the workflow. It pulls the details from the Google Sheet, creates the invoice, sends it to the client, updates the status on Google Sheet, and now it takes the second one and goes on. It is done. Let's check the templated node. Open the first run. Here is the invoice URL. Let's open it. And here we go. It is invoiced to Brickbyte. Let's check the second run. Open the invoice URL, and it is invoiced to Health Sync Labs with all the details from Google Sheet. Also at the end, it updated the invoice URL and the email status on the Google Sheet as well. Now let's check our inbox, and here we go. We received the email with the invoice attached, and this is the second one. So it's working perfectly. Now, instead of using this manual trigger, you can add a schedule trigger and set when you want to send these invoices, depending upon your preference. I will add the workflow JSON and all resource links in the description, including the link to try templated.io for free. If you want to build automations like this, make sure you check it out. And that's all for today. We will be uploading more AI and automation videos in the upcoming days, so don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any doubts, feel free to let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.